And you know what? I couldn't be happier. I'm going to do the dance of joy that my friend Jacques has finally come completely onto the other side of nerddom. He was riding the fence. Oh, I'm a jock. No, now I'm a nerd. No, now you're a full-time nerd, baby. All the way. Gain an extra 50 pounds, pounding away those snacks. No exercise for you. It's just sitting around playing games, watching TV. Milk chugs, more like milk chugs than milk duds. How do they call them milk duds when everyone is a winner? They're not. There's no. I've yet to find an actual dud.
I did spend a lot of time. I spent a lot of time on my own. I know it looks like so effortless. Just, oh, she's a natural girl. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I hate this. There's actually a chemical in my hair right now to make it like not kinky. We see the results. I mean, hey, there's one black person here. Everybody else, I have this. This is called 4C hair. So also known as the most militant power to the people hair there is. It's seriously like having a black power fist just hovering over my head, like a Sims character, you know? It's kind of the texture of Brillo, a little bit of Brillo mixed with despair.
Hello, and welcome to Carnival Personnel Sideshow. No Joe, no Biff, you're stuck with just me. But I am so very excited because, as I've been saying for the last few years, one of the things I love about going out to Los Angeles is they have these stand-up workout rooms, these open mic rooms that book on the hour. They only book 10 people. It's usually $5. They're usually full. It's one of those things where everybody stays, can leave, but it's one of those things where, hey, it's only an hour, and it's nice that if the first person goes up and there's 10 people in the room, that when the 10th person goes up, there's 10 other people in the room. And one of the places I've done it is this place called the Hollywood Comedy. I met this comic there when I started doing it, my first summer going out there, and the next 2 years I went out, saw this person host a number of times, usually on Sunday mornings, and the Sunday mornings were really fun because they were 10 or 15-minute sets. I asked her to come on the podcast, a while ago because she was just a fun person to get to know over the time. What I like about her comedy, it's very, very personal. She talks about like her path through life, her ex-husband, how she grew up, and by the end of her either 5-minute set or her 15-minute set, you feel like you grew up with her, like the shit she's gone through. She is very, very like an open book when it comes to it, and just very honest with her comedy. So I've asked her to come on and talk about her comedy, how comedy works in LA, her acting. So a big Carnival personnel welcome for Tanissia Sprulls. Tanissia, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing today?
Again, I'm doing great. We've been chatting off. So let's talk about your comedy right away. You're not at the Hollywood Comedy, but can you try to explain to people how awesome those rooms are for working out new material?
Yeah, I mean, as a comic, we need spaces to just try shit out and fail and then work it out and not be judged or have the pressure on us to like make this audience laugh or make a joke work. And then also being in the room with other comics, we kind of like vibe off each other. And I really loved hosting my mic in particular because it was a 15-minute mic, which is very, very rare. And I had hosted long ago, and then I wanted to get back into it. And now I can do like 15 minutes off the top of my head without any written material. And I just, that's like the power of like a mic, because it's just like training ground. So like if someone was a bodybuilder and they go to the gym, and I don't know why bodybuilders that are like big like that just don't stop working out. But anyways, that's a whole other thing. Tangent. It is important for us, like networking. it's like the ground floor where things happen. It's just it's a magical place.
Well,
You know.
because here, so I live north of Boston, and mics here, there are 10 open mics almost every day a week, but you can 90% of the time only go to one of them because they are so far away. I live in the city of Lowell. An hour one way is Boston, an hour another way is Manchester, New Hampshire. The mics all have different vibes and feels to them, but you're driving an hour, you're signing up. There might be anywhere from 12 to 20 people. They go 2 to 3 hours long, so you can only do one in a 5-hour window. But what's great is like if you're at the Hollywood Comedy, you can just stay and do another mic, or you can drive 2 miles this way and hit Four Wall, or is it Bangers and Jam that is a little up the street from the Hollywood Comedy, more in West Hollywood. And I tell people, it's like if I go out there, one day it will be a work day, one day I'll take the kids to Universal, and then one day I'll hit 10 mics.
Yeah.
And a day. And I'll come back with 15, 20 new minutes of material. And so you've been, what are some of as a host, I will tell you some of my frustrations going to mics and doing mics, but what are some of the frustrations that you would have watching comics?
Like when they yell into the mic, like I'm just like, it's a mic. let it do its job, you know what I mean? That's frustrating. When people go over their time, like they run it like Bobby, my friend Bobby Oliver, she runs Dow Comedy.
She's great. She's a hero.
Her.
Yeah.
I'm taking her class. She was like, don't launch into your like hour special when I give you the light, and people just respect the light. And I don't like people that do like material that, as a woman and as a person of color, people doing edgy material that is just downright racist and sexist and homophobic, those kinds of things. I don't like seeing that. I don't like those kind of mics. And then another thing is like saying like, just walking in and being loud and not paying attention. I mean, like, yeah, write notes or whatever, but when you're just like the whole time and it's like no one, you're not getting feedback. Oh, and then like leaving like right after you went up, just like that's very rude. I mean, like you can't stay all the time for every mic, you know what I mean? But like at least give it a go,
Since I started doing open mics just over 3 years ago, that was my number one pet peeve, is the person whose ass is halfway out the door as the host is saying, let's hear it one more time for Kevin, and there's 2 other comics waiting to go up. It's like, you can't sit your ass down for 10 minutes and give these people. And my other thing, I really remembered it with your mic because they're 15-minute mics on Sunday morning, which, by the way, it's brilliant because most people aren't up at 9 a.m. So you're not going to get 10 people coming in who might have hit their last mic or might have been out the night before. But I remember last year sitting there at one of the Sunday mics I came in, because I think I hit 2 or 3 of them, and seeing a person who did the same exact 10 minutes a year ago. It's like, I've seen you twice and I can finish your routine because and I don't get why you're going. And that's every mic. Like, I'll go to Bangers and Jam and I'll be like, I don't remember faces or names very well, but I'll remember, it's like, oh shit. And it's like, there are some people who have a better 5 than I will ever dream of. There are people who have better 10 minutes than me. When I'm dreaming about having a great 10 minutes, I don't dream about having a great 10 minutes as great as their 10 minutes. But fucker, you're doing the same 10 minutes I saw you do 2 years ago when I was here. Do you not have 12 minutes in you? And who, right. And who are you impressing doing this? Everybody in this room has hurt your shit. How did you deal with that week in and week out, seeing the same person come in? And did you ever want to pull somebody aside and say, hey, write a new joke for the love? Here's a punch-up mic. Anybody want to help this fucker?
Yeah, I was like, even like there's some people that I know they're working on like a special or something like that. They're specifically working on a bit for like a longer thing. So that kind of material, it has to be like that. I understand that. But then people that like just don't evolve or don't like read the room, and like let's say they set up something fucked up, and then they come back with that same fucked up line the next week. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Just like you can adjust the material, like like adjust. Like that's what mics are for. So you can like hear where your laughs are. And if you're getting like the same like dead air like at the mic at the same exact point, that should tell you something that maybe you need to punch this up or take this out or just scrap the whole thing.
And
Like
start over.
the context clues are there, but like people remaining clueless. And you know what's funny you say about this? Like, I remember like I started stand up in 2012, and there's this comic that I was friends with, and we're not friends. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, but like I actively avoid this person, and I get them banned from everywhere I go. Like I'm petty, like I'm 50 Cent. I'm petty like that. You know what I mean? So I saw them at the Hollywood Improv once, like 2 years ago, and they were doing the same shit we were doing, like we were smoking weed, like in 2012. Like I'm like, and I'm like I've evolved as a person. Like I don't even smoke weed anymore. I have nothing against it, but I just not where I am. But like, there's no evolution.
There's a great documentary when comedy stood out. There's a few documentaries about the boom in the early 80s. And there are some comics in that group who are doing the exact same material. Now, some of it kills, and I get it. I get you have a material that you're leaving corpses all over the place when you're doing it, and you're doing it in front of 200 people 2 or 3 days a week. And then there's some people, there's this guy like Tony V, who's just a hero of mine, who I'll do a show with them, and he'll have some similar stuff, or he'll repeat some stuff. But a month later, it's like 15 minutes, and he's pushing 70, and he's still writing new stuff because his kids are older. His wife has changed. He's in a different stage of his life, and he is talking about it. But yeah, I mean, it's just that. Now let's go back to step one. It was 2012. Where were you as a person, and what made you say, you know what, I don't get enough people judging everything I do and say, so I'm going to get in front of a mic and put it all out there. So walk me through how that all started.
Let's see. So there's depression, and then there's like suicidal depression, and
And then there's stand-up comedy.
and then there's stand-up comedy. So I in 2011 I had moved back to South Carolina for like a year because I had a bad breakup. Literally, I didn't realize until I watched Michelle Obama's Netflix Becoming the other day that like the same day we broke up was the same day Obama got inaugurated, and like that I don't remember, but I remember word for word verbatim of what my ex said to me that like crushed me,
Oh,
and we broke up that day, and then I ended up moving back home in 2010 for like a year, and then I came back in like 2011 that summer or whatever to LA. While I was in South Carolina, I just bought a notebook and I was like, this is going to be a joke journal. Never written a joke in my life. I was just like, this is going to be a joke journal. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know why. I was just like that. Oh, like, and I liked, I'm a writer too as well. And then I was at this acting school, LA, over on Melrose. There was a student that did an open mic. He just started an open mic. And then I was like, I'll try it. And then like in December, remember the day the world is supposed to end, 12/21/12?
yes.
That's the day I did my first show at the Comedy Store. And Leslie Jones was on the same like show as me. And like we smoked weed together outside the comedy. And like I like wrote on, like I was in Richard Pryor's dressing room and I saw like the piano, like
That's so
know,
awesome.
like all that stuff, and I was just like, oh my god, You know what I mean? And so that's like kind of where it started. Like I'm an actor. Um, I like performing. I don't like that word performing. It's performative. But that's literally how it started. Not a kid, a grown ass man at my acting school, like had an open mic. Like it was like a music and like singing and whatever. And I just tried it. I'm good at it. I liked it. I mean, and when you're dating in your 20s, there's a lot of material there. Like on these stupid dating apps, just literally, I've always just talked about what was going on in my life. You know what I mean?
Well, like I
Um,
said, with the intro, your comedy is very, 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 very personal. I mean, I know about how bad the parking is around your apartment. Like, I remember a set about that. You just go up there, and it's very, very funny. It's very, very reflective, and it is. It's really. Oh, what's the word? It's not like absurdist humor, which I like absurdist humor and stuff
yeah.
like that. But yours is this is the stuff that I deal with every day. These are my neighbors. You had this really fucked up neighbor situation.
Oh, with the one beating the dog and the
Yes,
one
yes,
boyfriend. and
yes.
and it's funny when I see them out, like the one guy walking his dog, he's just like, "Hey, Kelly," but you just smile. You're beating your dog. And like, what do you do? But it's just like my true life situations. And last night I was telling a story to my friend, and she's like, "This sounds like a movie character," because I was telling her I just got recently I got racial profiled in a CBS the other day, and I'm like, I'm on the phone. It was stupid, and I like, but I got racially profiled, and I was telling her the story, and as terrible as it is, it is absurdist. I think that's why it's like you said, like I don't write absurdist things, just absurd things happen to
Happen.
me.
Yes.
Just like just the dramatic comedy of my life.
But you also act, and you're very active on the socials and stuff like that. So you're doing improv. You just posted a demo reel where there was kind of an interrogation room. So tell me about your acting and how that started and where it is.
Um, as an actor, well, first of all, I'm an Air Force kid. I think we maybe talked about
Yep.
that. So like I also grew up around a lot of different like cultures, and um I have always been someone that is like I love to make things, do things, but I always wanted to be something. And I knew when I was little I wanted to be an actor, but like I also wanted to be a doctor. And then I was like, I played doctor on TV, and you know what I mean. I can do both. Um, and I very much do love studying my craft. So like in high school, I did plays, always like Shakespeare, stuff like that in the background or whatever. Midsummer Night's Dream. Well, what's that one? Uh, I can't remember the name of that, but did that kind of stuff, sang in the choir, uh, photography club, things like that. And then I moved to Santa Barbara after high school to go to this art school called Brooks Institute of Photography because I was never going to go into the military. I graduated high school in '02, and what happened in '02, we were starting to go into a war, and I was like, I Googled, like, I literally was like, photography school, California, and I saw Brooks, and it was like literally, I remember thinking this, like on the map. I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's only this far from LA. So I can, I can like go to school in Santa Barbara, do headshots for people in LA. I can go back. That's what I was thinking. Not a thing. I didn't have a car. I didn't have my driver's license yet, but big dreams. Like so after high school, basically, I moved to California to be an actor, and then, all studied theater at Santa Barbara City College. After Brooks, that's a whole other story. But like, did that, yada yada yada. And then I had wound up back in Los Angeles after that breakup. I have a divorce too, but but The divorce was not devastating at all. I was like, burn in hell. Um, but the acting school I was at led to me to doing the stand up, and I was studying like scene. There's like a scene study class there. Um, I've done a plethora of things, and it's just also scattered and in between. I guess that is the life of an actor. And every time I've ever tried to do things like on the straight and narrow path, like get your headshots, find an agent, da, 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 all that never works for me. Like, like how I work best is like how we met. It's just like by happenstance, and
Right.
I'm just like I'm more of like an in-person person and not like an outside person. I'm very introverted, but like as an actor, I love to take on the role of somebody else and get into the character and do like I can remember to do and be whatever I want. Like, you know what I mean? And then well during the pandemic, skipping around a lot, but during the pandemic I got online. I was thriving during the pandemic, by the way. I was having the time of my life.
Yeah,
I didn't have to go
I
anywhere.
feel bad saying that, but we did too. It was
Yeah.
great.
I no longer feel bad for saying that because like look at the world we are now, and I'm just like, can we just have another lockdown
Yes,
situation?
please.
Like,
Thank you.
do it. But
Just the driving,
so
just for traffic alone.
the parking.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah, the traffic. But yeah, like in 2020, I got online and I started taking like comedy classes at Flappers because I wanted to start like really like learning how to write a joke better because I'm also like I'm into that craft. So like I got on I started at Beverly Hills Playhouse like online in 2020. It's really getting into breaking down scenes and learning the whole technique and like because I also googled like acting schools in LA and like all these like people that I admire had gone there. It's got a reputation that is like I want to be there.
Right.
So like I went to school, I studied there. I was the stage manager of my class. So that entails setting up scenes sometimes, running lights, like booking, making sure people are on the list to do scenes, putting like so I'm a whole production company right here. You know what I mean? I can
That's
do
awesome.
makeup, I can do lighting, I can do all these things. And I love being able to play like characters that I'm like might not get to play in real life. Like I played um Blanche in a streetcar named is that her name?
Yeah, yep, yep. Blanche. Oh, no, I was confusing. It's Blanche Dubois that is
Yeah,
the
Blanche.
Golden Girls, but Blanche. Yeah,
That's why I wanted to say Blanche Dubois. I was like, it's not Blanche Dubois.
but yes, yeah, yeah.
I
I could have been
played
somebody.
Stella's sister,
Stella.
whatever.
Yes.
I didn't play Stella, but I would be a Stella. But I love playing the other character that I cannot remember her name. I've always been kind to strangers. That was
I've always relied on the kindness of strangers.
yeah. I've always relied on the kindness of strangers. I loved it, and like I played in this play called Sweat by Leo
It was
Notting.
Blanche Dubois. I looked it up. I
What?
was right. It was
It was.
Blanche Dubois.
Okay,
Okay.
so I played Blanche Dubois. Um, so I got to play in the play Sweat. I did a scene. Sweat is written by Lynn Nottage. I played a scene where I reversed the male parole officer role, and
Oh,
I was the yeah, and like I got some of the best critiques I've ever gotten in that class. You know what I mean?
that's
Not you
awesome.
don't know, but like because you weren't there, but like
But I understand.
you catch my vibe.
I,
But like so getting to play all these different things and be all these characters, I absolutely love doing that. And again, trying to do the straight and narrow thing, get the headshots, I didn't still didn't work for me. I don't really fit into any kind of box. And so like I just know my road to success isn't linear and never like it never has been. Like life has its ups and downs and so I've done like over past 2020 done like plays. I did the Virgin, not the Virgin Suicides, but the Vagina Monologues.
Yep.
My friend's producing it. So I'm in this other little production company.
I didn't even get a call back from my audition with that. I mean, I felt a little left out, you know.
I mean, like, maybe.
And I prepared, man.
Yeah, you prepared. They said you had to invert. You're like, I can't. Like, yeah, we did that, and then I did an independent feature, which is like a buddy comedy, and I was like, one of the leads, or I guess technically two leads, and were like sisters, and it was like this buddy comedy called Princess Cut. The director, Jacques, Scott, I might be misremembering that, but it was completely independent. We shot it out of her home. Her husband like was in the movie as well, helping produce it. Like, you know, it was just like, that's the kind of stuff I love, and like getting into character. And I got to do some action. I want to do action movies, and so it was like a heist buddy comedy. I love that. So it was like my first like feature. I've done I've been in other things that have other accolades to them as well. Like have been like I've done shorts that have won awards.
And when you write,
not that mine made the award, but like
right. What kind of stuff when you write? Do you, other than the stand-up stuff, do you write like plays? Would you try to write like your own kind of feature? Is that something that is like in the wheelhouse?
I do have an idea. Basically, there's 2 TV shows that I could write obviously based on my life, but particularly my relationship with like all my relationships with white men have been problematic in some way.
Well, collectively we do suck. We are the worst. Like historically speaking, we are the worst of the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I don't deny that. But I mean, and I have this perspective of being in the white world, being a Black woman. You know what I mean? And also the inverse, because most girls that come from where I come from, I hate the way that sounds, wouldn't find themselves at a country club with millionaires having brunch. You know what I mean? I'm just like having brunch with my boyfriend at a country club, like where like my ancestors wouldn't have been allowed in. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is crazy.
Well, no, not your ancestors, your grandfather.
Well, my grandfather. Well, that's still ancestry.
4 years before I was born, Clarence Thomas would not have been able to marry his wife in California. Right. 4 years before I was born, Clarence Thomas, who's a horrible person, who married a worse person, in California, the liberal bastion of California in 1965, wouldn't have been able to, you know, and I always think about that. It's like, okay, so the New York, Chicago Cubs, in 1963, go to play the Braves in Atlanta and have to stay in different hotels. I mean, like that's not 100 years ago. That's not the distant past. And then I live where I live. I live on the border of New Hampshire. You have a person floating the idea and the state senate of the neighboring state to me of segregated schools. So I guess that's how we get graded again.
Yeah, let's not like invest more resources into those communities so that they can thrive. Let's keep them out of places where we are so we can continue to be up here and everyone else is down there. And like there's this afraid to, like, what's funny to me? Like white people are afraid to be a minority because they don't want to be treated like the minorities. And I'm just like, then you can't say racism doesn't exist. You can't say bigotry doesn't exist if you're afraid to be treated like the person of color or of another,
No, that is the number one thing. And I had a friend say that to me like 25 years ago. He said that is the number one thing that the people in the majority are afraid they'll get treated like they've treated the minority when they're in the minority. Anyways, sorry about that. I'm preaching to choir, like I said. But let's get back to now. Tell me where you are now, and do you have a 2026 plan? Do you have a 2-year plan? Do you have a 5-year plan?
I don't like making plans.
Okay, fair enough.
Always never like go the way I plan them to, but when they and I don't plan, then things go even better than I expect them to. Like, um, I have goals.
Yeah, goals are
I
great.
like getting back to the writing thing. Um, I have a book that I am working on. Like, I just have to put it into book form, but I do want to release that this year. And then I am working on like a sticker business that's coming out soon. That is like a zennial, nostalgic, not mentally, but like mental health, neurodivergent affirming sticker line. I guess that's the best way to say it. Like, do I need any more words? But
Yeah,
there's
why is dyslexia the hardest word to spell?
exactly, why is there an X? I don't know. Like, where does the X go? I don't know. But yeah, those are two things that I do want to have done this year. I am like doing a lot of comedy. I mean, last week I didn't know what my week was gonna look like, and I ended up like doing improv, being at the NAAC award show yesterday, which was like amazingly fabulous. And then I booked something Saturday, and then I booked something on Tuesday night for comedy. So so artistically things are going very well for me, and as they should. I feel very aligned in that. I do want to get like an agent because um like see this is like I don't know when I'm going to apply for the agents, but I'll do it at some point, and I think maybe this time it'll work. Like 30th time's the charm. But that's something I do want to do. Maybe get into like print modeling and stuff like that, and commercials. Um, since I'm blessed with melanin, I don't look my age. And like God did me a favor because he was like, "You're gonna have a rough life, but it's not gonna show. Again, you'll be fine. You'll be fine."
That's
So that's a
fantastic.
blessing being black. Um, the good blacks, you know what I mean?
But enough
Um,
about Tim Scott.
yeah. Yeah, but so those are things I want to do, and
Well, how many
hopefully,
days are you putting yourself out there in a week? Like between the comedy, the acting, the writing, like how many days are you like doing all the stuff that you have to do to keep the lights on, and this is the stuff that you really want to be doing? Like how much do you get out there and do, or how many days are you working on the book or the sticker project?
yeah, my whole thing is like I don't want to work anymore, and like, and that means like literally, what? My daddy's calling me. Um, um, but I generally like I'm just burnt out from working. Like I haven't had an on paper job. Oh wait, is the government gonna watch this? Probably not. Whatever. I haven't had an on paper job in like over a year, and I just started. I just did a lot of training for a behavioral tech um, mission for as a substitute. So I'm
Yeah.
not like responsible for whatever kid. I'm just like kind of
No,
there.
that's 2 or 3 days a week. I'm an
Exactly.
elementary school substitute teacher, and generally it's in the special ed room. And I am just literally like I did this in a stand up the other day because it was true. I was in a room the other day. There was 8 kids. 5 of them were nonverbal. 3 of them were runners. 2 of them were biters. So
Oh wow.
I wasn't a para. I was a reverse doorman wearing oven mitts.
Yeah.
So I'm just there to help keep the train on the track.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
am, and look, I'm going to brag a little bit. I might be the world's greatest milk carton opener in the Northeast. I literally open maybe anywhere from 50 to 60 of the milk cartons at lunch a day. I've gotten really good at opening them up just enough to put the straw in and then close them back up because at least 1 out of 3 of them is going to spill, and it just minimizes. So that is my substitute teaching training that
That's
I've got.
yeah. How it has to be. You know what I mean? And what I was saying. So I'm doing things as they come along and feeding what I don't. Yes, I care about money and like keeping. Yeah, whatever. Lights are on. Whatever. I have like over $400,000 of student loan debt. So anything else doesn't matter to me. Like I don't even care about that. Like the school that Brooks that I went to got shut down for fraud, but like still like
Whoa,
we
whoa,
are.
whoa. The school got shut down for fraud,
Yeah,
but you're still on the hook for the student loans.
yeah. So my
Because that
private
makes
loan.
sense.
No, my private loans are starting to fall off. Like and disappear or whatever, but the federal loans, like I'm maxed out. So like I don't I because of that situation, I was not able to get a BA. I mean, I should have a whole PhD right now with the 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 amount of loans I have alone, but
Yes.
like um I have an AA from at Santa Monica College and I graduated with honors. But that also that limits what I can do as far as work goes because another thing is like education keeps you out of places, keeps you out of like there's just like a barrier. I couldn't even work at Enterprise rent a car because I don't have a BA. And I don't want to work like you know what I mean? It's just like but I've done so many jobs and I've literally trained so many white men to take my job that I'm just like done. Like I'm good enough to work like three jobs at a time. I have the work ethic and I choose not to work as hard as I used to anymore. And sometimes like pulling back and feeding more into myself. Like I do a lot of therapy. I do nothing at all with my cats all day sometimes. And somehow everything is fine. Like I
Well,
mean, I also yeah, to be fair, also another thing is I used to I have I was unhoused with full-time work. I I lived in an RV, broke down RV for a year and a half, working like three jobs.
well, and again, people who like to judge don't understand the number of unhoused people who are working. The number of people who work full time at Walmart who are on SNAP. Or this is the jarring thing that people don't, when the whole SNAP, oh, we're going to shut down SNAP. I think it's 1/3 of our military with families are on SNAP. It's like so the whole support our troops people don't understand that you're working full time, you might be deployed, you might be on a base somewhere, and what the military pays you is not enough to feed and house a family. Yeah.
Especially with the price of things going up. Like I'm at the grocery store like every other day and somehow I'm spending like $30 for like 2 days of food. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
like it's I'm like, what did I buy? I bought like five things and it's like $30. And
Well, I took
that
my
doesn't seem
15
like
year.
a lot of money to like some people, but like
No,
when
it's a
you're putting
lot.
it on your credit card and like it's like this is overdue and whatever. Like I give a fuck about it, no, honestly. I really don't. But
But
like what's the worst that can happen is like my mentality right now, like what's the worst that can happen? Like because like literally a bomb could like kill me right now.
yeah, well, with what's gone on in the last 48 hours, that
Yeah,
that is
I'm just like I don't care.
more realistic. So you got a call from your dad while we were just chatting. So your dad was Air Force. Where was your dad from, and where else did you live as a kid? Did you have?
Yeah, my dad's from Chicago. And so my dad's side's from Chicago. My grandma came up from Mississippi. Literally, my grandmother was a sharecropper. History is not that long ago,
It's
right?
not that long ago.
Yeah, my dad just turned 67 and my mom just turned 72. My mom's from St. Croix and the U.S. Virgin Islands. It's near Puerto Rico for somebody who don't know. And uh, they met in the Air Force over there
What
where my
mom was Air Force too?
yeah, my
Oh,
mom was so my mom drove the my mom was like transpo. Like my mom can drive. My mom is ridiculous, like for a myriad of things. But she will be like on in the car on the highway, like flipping through like the coupon book. Like I'm like, Mom, what do you? She's like, I know how to drive. I drove trucks. Like she can drive anything. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's where they met, and thank God for Germany. And I was born before the wall came down, so I was born in West Germany. The hospital I was born at doesn't it's not there anymore. So it's weird to like have a birthplace that you can't go visit
Oh,
anymore. So that's kind of weird. So yeah, I lived in Germany. We stayed in St. Croix for a year when I was in third grade, with my mom. My mom's grandma, like, sorry, my grandmother, my mom's mom. Because my parents divorced and my mom was trying to figure things out. Um, but I'm going backwards here. I lived in Biloxi, Mississippi for like 5 years. And then we moved back to Germany. And I was in Germany for first and second grade. And then we were in St. Croix. And then from St. Croix, we were in South Carolina. So I lived in South Carolina from like 8 to 18. And my mom is still there. My nieces and my nephews are
cannot say thank you enough, for jumping on and talking. I also can't say thank you enough because honestly, when I started, trying to do stand up and I would go to those open mic rooms, you were always a very, very supportive person. Not all, the open mic rooms there were fun. I really, and I do, I love going out there, but you definitely stood out. I follow you on the socials. I will post all your socials, but this was really, great talking to you about your comedy. But before I let you go, you posted a lot of stuff. You, this past tour, went to the Beyonce concert. Was that like the highlight of your life? Oh
my God.
You lit up like a Christmas tree, like
No,
literally.
I was like, yeah, like I went to see Beyonce. And it was like the reset you needed. Like anything that happened, it's like my life before Beyonce. I don't remember her. I don't remember that girl. My life after Beyonce, I'm that girl. You know what I mean? Like
What?
it was just so good. And I was with my girlfriends, and we were just having a good old time, looking fabulous. And everybody that was at the show, it was just a love fest. And I'm a Cancer, so like I love, and like I love being around like creatives and just having a good time like that. But I'm also very, I like experiences and like, just being around like people that feed into me, like gives me something as well. So like Beyonce fit into me, even though she didn't even look me in the eye. You know what I mean? So
No,
I,
I have a friend, Chris, who I think saw her 7 times on this tour. He's a writer in LA, and that is his whole existence. like
yeah.
he's created a number of long-running TV shows, and he's so successful, but he would rather stop and talk about like his experiences, how he feels at Beyonce concerts, than anything else in the entire world. So when I saw you had posted that a while ago, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make sure I bring that up, and I'm glad I did, because truly you look like somebody had plugged in a Christmas tree. You just
And yeah, I'm very stoic. I had an acting coach who's like, you have a hell of a poker face. I do, yeah, or resting bitch face. But
but mention
but
Beyonce.
like I make you work for it. So like when I'm actually experiencing joy, it's better than like the fake shit. You know what I mean? I don't fake it.
Well,
You'll never get me being fake.
again, I cannot thank you enough for coming on. I will post all the socials, but most importantly, don't forget.
am sick of